So you give thanks to show like gratitude. You think of where you're going, and then you think of what do you have to do today to get there.
Exactly.
Has that been a habit that has been started this year, a couple years, in the last 10 years?
I'm not going to say that it's been a lifelong thing. It hasn't. I mean, I think that it's never too late to kind of reflect on where you are and if you're doing what you need to be doing, right, to be the best that you can. I would say, if I were honest with myself, it's just been the last few years really that I've really kind of gotten serious about looking at it that way.
Wow, that's powerful. Now, one thing that's come from looking at life, gratitude, writing down the goals or thinking about the goals, and then reverse engineering how to get there every day, what is one thing that's come from that that has benefited your life, whether it was materially or whether it was spiritually or emotionally?
I mean, listen, I don't think it's a bad thing to be motivated by money, right? I mean, obviously, people wouldn't be working or doing what they're doing if it's not for money, right? But
capitalism.
Yeah. So obviously, there's a motivating factor there, but I think some of it's just kind of feeling good knowing that you're actually working at your highest level, and that you're, I think that I think we're all given some gifts, right? And if you're not utilizing those gifts then you're kind of cheating yourself, right? If you're not putting in as much work as you can and being the best at your highest level, then you're cheating yourself. So I think part of it's been a little self-rewarding, knowing that, at least in my eyes, I think that I'm improving and progressing and doing a lot of the things I need to do to work at my highest level.
That's powerful. Well, okay, so this culture conversation, at one point in time, you had worked in not for MBS Hobby, in another industry.
Yes.
Completely. What were some of the cons? Let's start with the cons. And then what were some of the pros of being in a whole different industry without such a crazy leader of an amazing person?
So prior to working at MBS Highway, my background was actually on Wall Street. So I worked at Morgan Stanley. I was a financial advisor, got all my licenses. So great background, but the culture is completely different. We are a small business, right? I really think culture is very important. But when working at like Morgan Stanley, it's very corporate, very not personal, right? I'd say not a very fun working environment almost, right? But what's nice about at least being in more of a small business like we are is, I think we're able to really focus a little bit more on individuals and recognition and creating a culture that I think is really successful.
Do you feel like almost where you were a number in the other organizations, so many thousands of people, and then
100%.
Where you are now, it's not so much?
100%.
Well, I can attest to that. When I walked in to actually meet Barry for the first time, your father, and interview, it's like when I walked through the office in the beginning, I could feel the energy in the room. And it's something I pick on often, right? Going into places all the time to either walk in and get kicked out, or walk in and learn. Yeah. And I can say I felt the energy, and I know that Barry is also sings in a band that he has.
does.
And I could almost feel the rock